great Friday here in downtown Conroe. Thank you for tuning in with us today for the Extension Hour. I'm Joshua Merillat with the Montgomery County Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences. By the way, while we're talking about it, check us out on Facebook at Healthy Living in Montgomery County. We want to talk a little bit about what's going on in the Extension. There's always a great deal of activity at the Extension and through the Extension programming in our community. I want to take just a second to highlight what everyone will be up to for the next couple of weeks. So 4-H, one of my favorites. Even though I don't work for them officially, I love 4-H. They just finished up state roundup competition at Texas A&M, and I got to go judge that, one of the events, and it was great. They're also busy with the Totally Teen program at the City of Conroe's Summer Day Camp, Camp Fun Quest. We have teens coming in our office once a week and getting to learn about extension and the gardens we have with the Master Gardeners. They're having a great time. They're also getting clubs ready to start back up in the fall. If you want to find a club near you for 4-H, give them a call at the office, and they will get you hooked up with someone local for you. Our horticulture and Master Gardeners, they have a family garden day coming up on Saturday, June 18th. And it's kind of a kids' discovery garden they have there that they want to let the kids explore and learn about. My favorite thing in that garden is the kumquat bush, and I go and raid that bush often. I love that, but the kids will have fun. They're also going to build terrariums and get to put a plant in there and take that home with them. It is $5 per family, but that's a great deal. They'll have snacks and cookies and all that. We're also doing, Amy Ressler and myself will be doing the chef plate presentation, which is fun, a way to present my plate and nutrition and healthy living. So the kids will enjoy that. It starts at 9 o'clock and it goes to 11. The first garden tour will be at 9:20, and then the chef plate will be at 10 o'clock, so you don't want to miss that. What else is going on? They have classes on Saturday throughout the summer. The class tomorrow is on composting and soil preparation for gardening. So if you're interested in that, those classes are $5 per person as well, and they have a lot of great information for you. What are you writing down, Jenny? Oh, to find out more for them, go to mcmga.com, and you can check out their schedule of classes and all that they do. Our Master Gardeners are just amazing. Montgomery County has about 350 Master Gardener volunteers, and apart from our gardens at the office, that's kind of their test area. They also volunteer at schools with their gardens and different community gardens around the area. So they're a great, great group of people. Our agriculture department, they're getting ready for their district horse show, June 20th through 22nd. Mike Heimer will be on the air June 24th to tell you more about what they have coming up, so be prepared for that. Family and Consumer Sciences, that's where I work, with Amy Ressler and Jenni Adams and Michelle Scaife and Yvonne Welther. So we're the Family and Consumer Sciences folks. Michelle Scaife is going to have a walk and talk during the summer at Reeves Elementary from 7:30 to 8:30 every Tuesday and Thursday morning for the month of June. So if you just want to have a good excuse to have a walk and talk, and it's a little exercise, and then she does a fun little healthy snack at the end, it's a great time. So call the office and talk to Michelle about that. We're also partnering with the MET Incorporated, Motivation, Education, and Training. They run our Head Starts here locally, but they have it's called New Pathways Fatherhood Initiative, and we're partnering with them for that. They're going to have a Dad and Me event at our offices June 16th, next Thursday, from 2 to 4. And it's going to be a Hollywood theme. They're going to roll out the red carpet, and dads and their kids can come, or father figures and their kids can come and watch a movie, have a snack. They're going to do a little craft with them. So it's a free event for fathers and kids or father figures. So we want y'all to come out to that. All right, so on with the show. Today on the Extension Hour, we are talking about two of our favorite subjects, kids and money. And it's not having too many of one and too little of the other. Either way, that would be a problem, I guess. But we're talking about, more specifically, teaching your kids to have a healthy understanding of money. I've asked a few guests to be here with me in the studio today to have sort of a roundtable discussion on this topic. Each guest brings today a very unique life experience and background. And they're also in different seasons of life in regards to parenting. And that's not a bad thing. One of the guests happens to be my wife, and she's giving me looks. But a season in life can be anything, not just because, I'm just going to stop there before I get in trouble anymore. But we're going to go around the table. I'm going to let you ladies introduce yourselves. Our first one is Miss Jenni Adams, my coworker. And she's in a very different season in life than myself. So tell us about yourself,
Yes.
Jenni.
My name's Jenni Adams, and I work at the Extension office. I've been there about 6 years in the Family and Consumer Science office, and I have a 5-month-old baby. So that is kind of my take on this, and hoping to talk to these other ladies and get some points for whenever my child gets older.
Oh, goodness. I'm Marcia Merillat, and I am definitely in a different season in my life. I have a 22-year-old. And I am a third grade teacher in Willis, Texas at Cannon Elementary. And I guess I'm bringing the perspective of educator and also mom to the table today. So.
And then future grandmother.
And then also future grandmother.
Yes.
So.
And what's your grandmother name?
I'm not telling you.
It's Tootsie.
Yes.
So I can call her Toots the rest of my life. Hey, Toots.
Oh, gosh. Anyway. Okay, on to Melissa.
I'm Melissa Mills. I have been here in Conroe for about 44 years.
Wow.
Lived here, I moved here when I was about a year old. So, we've been in Conroe a while, and I have an 8-year-old son that I'm right in the middle of teaching all this wonderful stuff to. So I'm here to get some new information and just learn from Marcia and
Randy is a smart kid, probably the smartest
amazing.
kid I've met. And he's a great kid. You can tell he has great parents. But you work at?
I work for CW Rod Tool, but my husband and I own a document shredding business here in Conroe, TriStar Document Shredding. So.
Excellent. Okay. So you have your own business. You're kind of bringing that perspective in here, too, today. That's good. And we're all really involved in the community. I know Jenni and Melissa do a lot with the fair and rodeo, supporting the kids in that capacity. So that's really exciting. We're going to end up talking, like I said, about kids and finances and teaching kids a healthy view of finances and how we do that. And they learn a lot by watching us. So a lot of what we do today is going to be talking about our habits also. And it's not a real easy subject for people to just sit around and talk about money. And then also having to talk about raising kids, because most people say, don't tell me how to raise my kids. But there is some really good advice we can give folks, and I'm really excited about the program today. So when we come back, we'll continue with our program.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
Did you know your favorite show on Lone Star Community Radio are on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, you name it, they're on it. Check out where they are online on irlonestar.com/shows and see which of your favorite hosts are online. Make sure to follow them and see what is in store for the next broadcast. Follow Lone Star Community Radio on Twitter at IR Lone Star or Facebook with facebook.com/IR Lone Star.
And welcome back to the Extension Hour. I am Joshua Merillat with the Montgomery County, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences. That's a mouthful. By the way, check us out on Facebook at Healthy Living in Montgomery County. You can keep up with us and see what we're doing and all the programs we offer that you can come join us with. We're just getting the program today off the ground, and the topic is kids and money and teaching your kids to have a healthy understanding of money. We met our guests that are in the studio with me today before the break, Melissa and Jenni and Marcia, and they have graciously agreed to come and talk with us today about two subjects that are quite personal, and it really takes a lot of guts to do this on such a public platform. So I am extremely thankful they're willing to do this, all for the sake of helping the community and helping each other and just making a better place for us to live. And the Texas A&M, I want to tell you this, the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service is a unique education agency with a statewide network of professional educators, trained volunteers, and county offices. It reaches into every Texas county, about 250 counties, and addresses local priority needs. So we look at what the community needs and really form our programs and what we offer around that. So it is unique in every county. AgriLife Extension delivers research-based educational programming and solutions for all Texans. We get the information primarily from Texas A&M and the research they do, and then it's our job to go out into the community and distribute that information, research-based information. One of the great programs we offer through Family and Consumer Sciences is Thrive by 5, teaching your preschooler about spending and saving. And that's kind of what we're using as our guide today for the program, talking about kids and money. And we want to introduce this Thrive by 5 program so we can start offering it to the community here. So this is the introduction for the whole community about this program. It's new to our office. I don't think it's ever been done. 6 years you've been there, Jenny.
I don't know if Linda did it or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so we're kind of excited, and I really feel it's a need in the community to teach these kids about, even at a young age, you think, well, my preschooler, what could they possibly learn or need to learn about money? I mean, they can't put it in their pocket yet, or they might have a quarter or something, but it really is valuable, and we'll get into that through the program and see why it's so valuable. So just the introduction of the Thrive by 5 program, we say today's youth have more discretionary money than ever before, yet they know little about how to manage this income. Many resources have emerged to assist teens when it comes to managing money, but fewer programs address working with younger youth. Moreover, most efforts center on what schools should do to teach money management. And that's when Marcia comes in. Yay. She's the professional educator, so she's going to give us that viewpoint. But that's great, of course, but children learn many beliefs about money from television, advertising, and especially from family members long before they enter school. And that's really what we want to focus on. Some of these beliefs will help them as adult consumers, and some will not. What the television teaches them and all these outside influences, some might help them, but some of them might just make them want to go spend a lot of money, right? Even watching the Disney Channel and these, are they cartoons anymore?
Not really, no.
Whatever
weird.
They call it. They're sitcoms, really, just what adults watch, but kid-friendly-ish. But the commercials they see in the advertising, even in the show, there's a lot of...
Even in the show, you have the products and I need this from this show.
And the brand names.
Right.
Yes.
They're wearing these clothes.
Ooh, I need, what was it, Descendants, or other things like that.
Me and Marcia love to watch movies and be like, oh, product placement, look at that. Somebody paid for that box of cereal to be right there.
Yeah.
And so children could learn a good spending and saving behaviors at home if parents knew what to teach and how to teach it. Parents are, after all, their young children's first and most influential educator in all areas of life. Thrive by 5, teaching your child about spending and saving, provides basic money concept, as well as fun, hands-on learning activities for parents of preschoolers. And we'll get into those activities and kind of touch on them when we do these Thrive by 5 programs, what those activities look like and something they can take home and actually use at home on the regular, as they say these days. And so first I just want to go around and let each of you kind of tell your experience growing up as a child. What was your financial outlook, or how did you view finances and see your parents, and what maybe have you done that your parents did, or what have you tried to change intentionally, just overall? You want to start, Jenny?
Sure.
Okay.
We weren't rich, we weren't poor. I mean, we were, as far as I knew, we were just, middle class, and, if it was something we really needed, we definitely had it, and if it was something we wanted, we either had to work for it or wait for a birthday or Christmas or some event. And so that's kind of how I've grown up, and my husband grew up the same way. So, that's how we are planning to teach our daughter if we can keep the grandparents under control.
We'll get into that too.
Yes.
Grandparents, listen up. Yeah.
But she does already have a piggy bank. We're already starting to put stuff in there. So, but she will definitely have to learn, the value of the dollar and, okay, well, you want this and you don't have the money for it. So what, how much do you have to work to get that? So
there you go.
That's one thing that we're looking at, instilling in her.
So would you say yours and Jim Bob's parents kind of helped form the concept you have of saving and being kind of frugal and teaching Caroline?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Excellent. Marcia,
yes.
Enlighten us.
Oh, goodness. And I guess my upbringing was just a little bit different. It was a very interesting childhood, I'll just say that at the least. And honestly, we went from one extreme to the other. We either had a lot of money or we had none. And when we had none, they still bought like we had money. And I saw my parents go paycheck to paycheck and just, how many more days till you get paid? How many more days? And it kind of, unfortunately, it made me sad. But unfortunately, I'm seeing even that in kids today. They know when their parents get paid. They know when that check comes in the mail. So I had a piggy bank, and a lot of it came from my grandparents' influence, and I saw them save, and they would buy me stuff, and it was basically at Christmas, birthday, back to school stuff. But if I needed it, they would buy it for me, but it wasn't anything extravagant. And I think they're the ones that really taught me the value of money. And I can say that they were the biggest influences on me. And I just try to somewhat still instill those values. So,
sure. And that's good. Meemaw and Peepaw. I love
Yeah.
to talk about Meemaw and Peepaw. It makes people smile when I say Meemaw. But it's good they were there to show you that. And
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that in a minute. But go ahead, Melissa. What you got?
We grew up, basically, we had a lot of influence from our grandparents as well. My Mamaw Buddha is what we called him. My Mamaw Buddha, they owned the old Conroe Drive-In.
Oh, cool.
And then my dad having his electrical company, we all lived on the same big piece of property, so dinners together and stuff. And we would always hear them talking about the business and this about the business. And so we weren't rich and we weren't poor. We were middle of the road, and we saw them doing a lot of saving and putting money back for bills and things like that. And my grandmother, she could squeeze a nickel. So she put money back, but I think a lot of that was from them, the era they came out of, the Great Depression.
Right.
And they had to save. They had to save. So I think a lot of that, learning to save came from my grandparents.
Great.
And my parents. So, but anything special that we wanted, we had to save up and get it. We didn't get to just, of course, on the other end of our property, if we wanted a candy bar or a Coke, we just rode our bikes down to the drive-in and got it.
Movie theater, yeah.
But on the other hand, because my grandparents owned it, my grandfather would be down there getting ready for the night, putting the movies on the reels or whatever. And if we wanted a Coke and a candy bar, okay, you girls grab a broom and sweep up behind the counter. It was really not anything that we needed to do, but we would do a little chore for our candy bars or our, our Cokes or whatever. So.
Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break again, and when we get back, we'll continue with this. Thanks for listening.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we're looking for more talk shows and volunteer DJs for our music shows. If you're interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or always wanted to live out your dream of being a music DJ, contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com/contact us, or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
And welcome back to the Extension Hour. I am Joshua Merillat with Montgomery County, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences. Man, that's a lot of words. By the way, check us out on Facebook at Healthy Living in Montgomery County. Got to put that in there. we're going to get back right back into where we left off. Marcia, and go back to you. Talked about seeing your mom and dad or mom and stepdad go from moments of having a good deal of money to they were comfortable and they had the habits of people who have that kind of money. And then there were periods of time where they wouldn't have much money, but they still had those same habits. So, question for you. In our marriage or before me, did you see any habits that you might have just picked up from them incidentally that you had to break, or any cycles in that you had to break?
I don't even like you right now.
Oh, come on.
I guess the one thing that I did see my mom do is she, at one point in time, would extend their finances and would, I guess you could call it, bounce checks. And I'll be honest, when I moved in with my grandparents when I was 13, and I went from that extreme. We had nothing. I'll be honest. I don't even want to tell you where we lived. It was horrible. Like, because my mom was by herself. It was me and my brother. And I went from that to came back to Willis, living with my grandparents. And if I needed something, they would give it to me, or they would get it for me. And I kind of got to a point later on towards the end of high school where, honestly, I was just a spoiled brat. I opened a checking account, and guess what I did? I started bouncing checks too, and got that all cleared up. That was fun. And it really made me look at money in a different way. It made me realize that the things that our parents show us and with money is unfortunate. A lot of it you take with you as you grow older. And even when I had my first job, honestly, it was how many more days till I get paid? And I was like, even after my son was born, I was just like, what am I doing? Like, I have a baby, and I have to save for his college. And I mean, it was crazy. And I saw a lot of what my parents did, and I did take some of it with me. But a lot of it I've seen, I've made money more of an importance of what I'm doing with it now.
Right.
It's not about what I need to buy. If I don't need anything, I'm not buying it. And I try to teach Hayden that. And that's been an interesting journey with that. So that's about it. That's how, I guess, unfortunately, it's some things that I did bring with me from my childhood.
Sure.
So as long as the parents are a great example, or even try to be an example, their kids are going to take something from it.
Right.
They're sponges.
Oh, yeah. They'll take the good and the bad equally.
Yeah.
And that is trying to break cycles like that, and things you didn't even know you picked up, and habits you didn't even realize you learned from them. You're like, oh man, I'm doing it. It's me now. I'm the one doing it, so I got to just decide to stop it. So, and then me growing up, I was kind of like y'all as well. We were middle of the road, saw my dad work hard. He was a police officer, didn't make a lot, but he'd do those extra jobs to get us nice things for Christmas or birthday. And when I would get money for my birthday or something from grandparents, he would always advise me, you should save this and really find what you really want instead of just buying something random. I love to go to Service Merchandise and get the latest electronic that they had or something. Most people don't even know what Service Merchandise is now. But he would always try, and I would never listen. Like, no, I want this brand new telephone. It was a corded telephone.
That's probably clear.
So awesome. I'm the one who bought our first cordless telephone in the house. I was like,
I did
this
too.
is so cool. And so I did not learn how to save, even though my dad was trying to teach me. So,
yeah.
And I'm still struggling. You can tell him.
Yeah.
Wife's telling on me.
I love him, and we've been it's an ongoing effort, and I think you're the spender or the shopper.
I like to shop, but not for clothes and stuff. I like to shop for gadgets.
Stuff that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, so anyway, we need to take a break so they can do traffic and weather, and we'll get right back into it when we come. Thanks for listening.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
Want to check out what it's like to be on the radio? Need credit for school? For an internship? Then contact Dick online at dick@irlonestar.com. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are here to be part of the community.
You're listening to the Extension Hour on Lone Star Internet Radio every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m.
And welcome back to the Extension Hour. I am Joshua Merillat with Montgomery County, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences. By the way, don't forget to check us out on Facebook at Healthy Living in Montgomery County. Super important. Like us. Give us a thumbs up over there. Today we're talking about kids and money and teaching your kids to have a healthy understanding of money. I have an awesome panel of guests today, Jenni, Marcia, and Melissa. And they all bring a very unique and valuable point of view to this topic, and I'm so glad they're here. We're using the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension's program, Thrive by 5, as our guide today. And just to give you a little background on the development of that program, because that's important, where the information's coming from. The parent education program, Thrive by 5, teaching your child about spending and saving, was initiated by the Credit Union National Association, CUNA. Funded by the National Credit Union Foundation, the Texas Credit Union Foundation, and the Ohio Credit Union Foundation. The program materials were developed and reviewed by a partnership of CUNA and cooperative extension specialists from more than 15 states. So a lot of people had their hand in it. The purpose of this workshop is to prepare parents and adults to teach basic money concepts to preschool children through playful activities. And when we host this Thrive by 5 program, we actually do break off into family groups or small groups and they can choose one of these 8 activities that we have. And it's kind of a way for them to learn how to do the activity, get the hands-on experience. And, of course, I didn't say this yet, they bring their kids to the program, of course, because that's what it's about. Unless they're expecting, then they have to bring their kids to the program. But so they can sit down with their kid during the program and learn how to do these activities. And just to list them real quick, how can I teach my preschooler ... Each one of these will answer this question. How can I teach my preschooler to wait to spend money? That's probably a really hard one, especially when you're going down the candy aisle or the electronics aisle. They gimme, I want. So how can I teach my preschooler to not lose money?
That one's
I
fun.
gave you $1. Where'd you do with it? Oh, I flushed it down the toilet. It was fun, you know. How can I teach my preschooler to help with the shopping? And that's something, it's kind of a drag to bring your preschooler to the grocery store, right? It's not the most fun experience.
Have you ever actually taken a preschooler to the
No,
grocery
but
store?
when I see parents with their preschoolers, it does not look fun. I don't know. Am I wrong? Tell me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the kid, really.
Okay.
It can be fun, or it can be a
Yes,
total
they got,
nightmare.
those carts with the cars, and they pretend like they're race car drivers.
Yeah, but you can only fit so many groceries in that basket in that cart.
No, it's a regular size basket.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
is.
Maybe just the ones I see at the store are the
Okay, you're
bad
just seeing
ones.
the bad examples.
The
The,
bad
the
ones.
kids screaming and
Why is that kid
the
screaming?
mom wanting to scream and yeah.
Okay, well,
Sorry.
anyway, so you're at the store with your lovely child, and you're just having the greatest experience. How can you have them help you with the shopping and kind of learn those basic principles of, is this one cheaper or is this a better value? Maybe that's a little hard for preschoolers, but just, does this box look prettier than this box?
Yeah, I think they would like that better.
Yeah, but say, you can tell them even at a young age, this is how much money we have to spend, and this is our, right? Okay. So how can I teach my preschooler about using money to buy something? Just simple. It takes money to buy something, and there's a good activity for that. How can I teach my preschooler that when money is spent, it is gone? And it's not always this magic card you just pull out and it's your free pass. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. So how can I teach my preschooler that having fun does not have to cost money? And that's something, as the most awesome uncle in the world, when I have my nieces and nephew, I want to do something fun. And I always think, oh, man, I got to take them to Incredible Pizza. I got to spend all this money to do stuff. They don't care. You can have fun. So, and then the last one is, how do I teach my preschooler that gifts do not have to cost money, too? And that's just a simple lesson, but there's an activity to go with that. So, when I asked you ladies to come on the radio, I gave you a little homework. And part of the Thrive by 5 program, we have this survey that says, what does your child already know about money? And again, these are parents of preschoolers or, on their way to growing up. So I asked y'all to answer it as if your kid was 3 to 5, or so. So what do you think a preschooler should know about money? The first one, who thinks a preschooler can identify coins by name? Anybody?
I think so. Some. I mean, and I'm not basing that on every single child. But I mean, I remember my niece and nephew at a young age could tell you that's a quarter, that's a nickel, that's a dime, that's a penny.
Okay.
So in my experience, I have been around kids that could name them.
Okay, Melissa.
Randy, he did a pretty good job with it. He named.
Randy's awesome.
Yeah, Randy is really awesome.
Thank you. I think so, of course, but no, he could identify them. Like hand me the quarter, hand me the dime, but he did call pennies wishes.
Oh, that's cool.
He called them wishes because Papa Gene would take him somewhere, and if there was a fountain, he'd give him a penny for the wish. And throw the wish.
Sweet.
So we had a hard time teaching him that a penny was not a wish. But other than that, he was good at that. Just not the value like 5 cents, 10 cents.
Right.
He couldn't do that.
Right.
But
naming them. Okay.
Yeah.
And Marcia, kind of opposing view.
Okay.
From a teacher's perspective.
Yeah, I took mine as from, I guess, a teacher's perspective with the 3 to 5 year olds, and teaching pre-K 2 years ago. I had kids that didn't even know what coins were, so they didn't know the names of them. They didn't know that they had value. So
okay. Part of the research we have with this program, I have the answer sheet here, and it's not, it's in general. They say a children 3 years old can or is capable of calling a coin by its name if they're taught. Of course, they're not just going to know, but 3 years old they can have that distinction. So it just depends on what they're learning at home, and that's what we want to try to teach. That hey, it's okay. They're young, but they can still learn, and they.
Oh yeah.
What about, can a preschooler name the value of each coin in terms of pennies? How many pennies is a quarter? I think Melissa kind of said that's probably was pretty hard for Randy.
yeah, sorry I jumped ahead a little bit, but
No, that's okay.
yeah, he didn't really know the value of it. We would try to work with him on it. That's the nickel is 5 pennies.
That would probably be the easiest because it's the smallest amount.
Yeah, but he didn't get it because the dime was actually smaller than the penny.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
yeah.
hard.
So it was confusing because he's like, well, this one's smaller. Well, no, that's 10 of those. That's 10 pennies, and
Yeah.
he was like, but it's smaller.
Yeah.
It was hard to
tough.
explain that it was a larger value, a larger amount. So
Yeah.
That is tough.
And they tell us by 4 years old, closer to 5, probably that's when they can learn a little better about the value of how many pennies is a quarter or a nickel. What about name the value of each larger coin in terms of smaller coins? That's kind of what we talked about. The dime is small,
Yeah,
but it's
I don't
worth
think
more
that,
than the nickel.
Yeah, I think that would be a very hard concept at that age.
Tough. Yeah, that does get a little more advanced.
Yeah, especially since they don't really get introduced to that until first grade, kindergarten,
Yeah.
first grade. So
Yeah. What about add up the total value of several similar coins?
Maybe pennies.
Pennies, 10
Yeah.
pennies. They're
Right.
practicing that.
That maybe,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, when you like with Randy, it was, but that one's smaller, so that is
Right.
the hard
Yeah.
comparison. But if it's all pennies, those are at least each one. It's because they obviously can't count by 5s
Right.
or 10s by that point.
Yeah, that's
yeah, I think kindergarten's when he finally started getting that because they were learning counting and they actually learned to count by 2s and 5s.
oh wow.
So
That's great.
He would know, okay, nickels 5, 10, 15, because he could do the counting by fives.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. What about has on occasion a preschooler on occasion decided to save, not spend money? Have you ever seen a preschooler do that?
No.
Not by choice.
I don't think they actually understand that concept, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know when I taught pre-K, we didn't talk about saving and spending, and a lot of it was just introducing the coins. And we actually did use different types of home centers, turning them into stores and stuff to give them the idea of spending money. Whereas instead of, the difference between saving and spending. But I don't think that concept, that grasp of it didn't really hit home until later on.
Yeah. The research they have here says 5 years old, a kid can grasp the concept of saving, but maybe not as big of a term as we think.
My grandfather actually, for the great grandkids, for their birthdays, he would give them like $20 that they could go spend, but then he would give them a different dollar amount that had to go into their savings. So they knew, I get to spend this amount, but this amount has to go into my college fund.
Yeah.
So that's why I said not by choice as far as saving, but I have seen it done, but not by choice.
There you go.
Necessarily.
Same thing. That's what we do with Randy. He's allowed to spend a little bit,
and the rest has to.
Yeah, and actually, I've been telling my family, because they always want to give him, give him a gift card. Mm-hmm. Give him a little bit on a gift card, and then the rest of, if any cash is going into savings. Because my grandmother, before she passed, she always wanted to give him something special for her. He needs to take some of this and get something special from me. So, Yeah. So being made too, that's what we do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. All right. We need to wrap it up. Okay, we got a break. We got to take a break. So we're just having too much fun. When we come back, we'll continue talking about kids and money.
You are listening to the Extension Hour on irlonestar.com.
Did you know your favorite show on Lone Star Community Radio are on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, you name it, they're on it. Check out where they are online on irlonestar.com/shows and see which of your favorite hosts are online. Make sure to follow them and see what is in store for the next broadcast. Follow Lone Star Community Radio on Twitter at irlonestar or Facebook with facebook.com/irlonestar.
You're listening to the Extension Hour with Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. Visit us online at montgomery.agrilife.org.
And welcome back to the Extension Hour. I'm Joshua Merillat with Montgomery County, Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, Family and Consumer Sciences. By the way, check us out on Facebook. Don't forget, Healthy Living in Montgomery County. And we call that Healthy Living Montgomery County because really, we talk about nutrition and exercise, but today we're talking about money and raising your kids to understand the value of money. So that is also part of Healthy Living, and we're in Montgomery County. So Healthy Living in Montgomery County on Facebook. Thumbs up over there for us. And we have our awesome panel of guests here, Jenni, Marcia, and Melissa. So happy they've been here today, getting some good insight about parenting stuff that I didn't know, evidently, and I've been wrong a couple times today, so that's okay. That's fine. That's why we're here. So we're using the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension's program, Thrive by 5, as our guide in what we're talking about today. It is a program we offer for parents of preschoolers or maybe grandparents who just want to help their preschoolers be better. Come, bring your preschoolers. It's fun. It's free. We can have it. Just call the office. Talk to Jenni. And our number there is 936-539-7825. We'd love to get a class together. Or you could even host it. If you got a fun place for us to go, we'll go to your backyard. Bring your friends. It'll be fun. We'll have a barbecue. No, we can do it. We can do it anywhere. We're mobile. All right. So we're talking about the Thrive by 5, and I gave y'all homework to do. We talked about a little survey about what kids know, but now we want to talk about what do you know about young children and money. So you had some true and false questions there. Marcia, read that first one and tell me your answer.
Okay. Children start forming basic concepts and attitudes about money and how to manage it after they begin school.
And you said?
I said true.
You said true. And what did y'all say?
I said
true.
false.
We have Jenny false, Marcia, Melissa true. The correct answer is false. Children start forming money concepts and attitudes about money long before they enter school. By the time a child is 3 or 4 years, they realize money is used to buy things. They realize that. By age 5 and 6, children have distinct attitudes about money. They know where money comes from, where and why we need it, and why we need to keep it in a safe place. So it's okay. We're learning. Number 2. Jenny, read number 2.
In 2004, it is estimated that children between the ages of 4 and 12 years old directly spend about $35 billion.
Directly spend about $35 billion.
And I said true.
You said true.
True.
True?
True.
Everybody said true, and we got it right.
Yay.
Yeah, $35 billion and influenced an additional $188 billion that their parents spent.
Wow.
So just money they received and could spend on their own, $35 billion, and
That's
what they
crazy.
influenced their parents to buy because of that advertising and programming we've talked about, $188 billion. That's a lot. All right, number 3, Melissa, what you got?
I have children are not likely to practice the money habits of their parents. I put false.
Okay, they're not likely.
False.
You said false?
False.
That's pretty. I think we should, yeah. Children are likely to adopt a parent's money attitudes and imitate their parents and money habits.
Yes, they are.
And we talked about that. You accidentally soak up, and you don't even know it. You soak up these habits like a sponge, and when you become an adult, you have this aha moment of, oh my goodness, I turned into my mother, or I turned into my father, and I've got to change something, right? Because it's not always good things we learn. So, number 4, I'll read that one. Most parents today teach their children about managing money. True or false?
False.
False.
False, yeah. Many parents struggle with money management. As a result, fewer parents are teaching their money about spending and saving money wisely. So that's really why we have this program and why we are offering it, because it is a hard thing to talk about. So, number 5, read it real quick, Jenny.
Youth have less money to manage than they did years ago. False.
False. Everybody say false?
Yeah.
Yeah. Youth have more discretionary income, money not allotted paying bills, than they did years ago. Children's spending has roughly doubled every 10 years for the past 3 decades and has tripled since the 90s. Kids between the ages of 4 to 12 spent $2.2 billion in 1968 and more than $40 billion by 2002. So 4.2 to 40 billion. Where do they get money? Chores, allowances, and gifts. Yeah, that's how they're spending it. Number 6.
I guess I'll read it. Preschoolers are not true consumers.
Ooh. What do you think?
I actually put true on that
I put
because
false.
I think it's
I put
more
false, yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
more of the I want.
Preschoolers are not true consumers. It's false. What is a consumer? Anyone who is buying goods and services in the marketplace, right? So what goods and services will preschooler buy? Clothes, toys, and food. So, all right. So that's great. And again, if you want to have or be a part of our Thrive by 5 program and come have a class or host a class, just call Jenny. She loves to talk to folks.
Sure.
936-539-7825. And then Healthy Living in Montgomery County on Facebook. Thank you, ladies, for being here. It was so fun.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
us.
we had a blast.
You had fun?
Yeah.
All right. We'll have to do it again. We have more to cover that we couldn't even get to today. That's awesome. That's a good problem.
Yay.
Cool. Well, thank you, Dick. We enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to Montgomery County, the Extension Hour on Lone Star Community Radio. Josh Merillat.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.